Hey. Hello, you beautiful. Hello, you beautiful noodles, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kalia if you're new, and if you are new, on Mondays, I do Music Monday videos. Walk into the room and I feel the stairs. You're wondering if the talent claimed is really here. This week is week 7, and week 7 is all about recovering a sense of connection. Yes, us as artists, we have to be connected to community. We have to be connected to inspiration, things like that. But you need to be connected to self. So this chapter, when it's talking about connection, is talking about your connection to yourself. All right. When we think about creativity, a lot of times people are like, oh, I worked so hard on this, or I toiled and blah, 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 blah. But remember, there are also those times where it's like, I was walking down the street and this idea just came to me. I don't know where it came from. I was just looking at the trees and realized that the way that this is all folded is just insane. Like the ideas, they come, and we do not have to try that hard to be creative. So when we start beating ourselves up about being creatives, what we're really beating ourselves up about is not being able to push through. And it's not a push through. It's not a push through. It's not a push through. Okay. What you do have to do, do. I'm a child. You have to get better at listening. And it's not just listening to what other people say, because remember, back then when it was like, we're not reading, you're just going to do other things but read. That reading is a form of listening to other people. Consuming content, listening to other people. But no, you need to get used to listening to yourself, listening to what makes your heart jump, listening to what makes you want to stay up all night and learn all about it, listening to what makes you feel fulfilled, like listening to what gives you actual joy. It just fills up your body, you all. Like, I don't know what else to do. I'm vibrating. Like, yes, like when you start to vibrate, people talk about like vibrating on a higher level or a higher plane. Whatever makes that happen for you, that is your creative lane. That is your creativity. And when you start to listen to that and you pay attention to it, like the intentionality that I've had here lately was like, okay, I'm listening. I hear that this is something that, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I like that. So when I'm following that, things just happen. They just fall into line. I understand that the things are not just happening, right? There's so many intricate processes that happen in the background. But in my creative mind, I am allowing myself to accept the fact that God is working in the behind for my favor, for my good. And that favor and that good is so that I can go and create. I know that this is what I am supposed to be doing, because when I sit in my stillness, this is what I hear. And it's not the thoughts of, oh, well, such and such did this and theirs looks so good, so you're really never going to be able to get there. That is not me. And when you sit and you listen to yourself and you hear these things, you have to recognize what is really you and what is really you taking on what other people have said over you and over your life and over your art, over your creativity. Because that's a lie. That's that wet blanket that we talked about in the last video. But also, that's just not your voice. Like, get it out of there. Because when you're listening to that voice, you're listening to this one is going to make somebody mad. You're listening to that voice that's telling you can't do it. And it's not you, it's your pride. Okay? It's not you, it's your ego. You are listening to the part of yourself that tells you, I can never do this, because if I start, I may never finish. Or if I finish, it'll never be as good as what everybody else has going on. But if I do finish and it is good, no one's going to care because it was me. Or I know I could do that, but I'm not going to, because if I do it, I'm giving somebody else the satisfaction of watching me do it and fail. Who cares? I really want, at the end of this 12 weeks, for everybody to really sit and think about the fact that who cares? I know other people care, and we are a people of society, right? So it's like we live in a society where no matter what you do, like everybody's got their phones. I'm doing this on my phone. Everybody has their phones. You could be filmed at any time, and that film footage, whatever, goes viral on social media, and that's what you're known for. But you know what? That is what they know you for. What do you know yourself for? And this is why this process is so necessary to reground myself. I definitely, I don't know if I've talked about this in my other videos, but I feel like the timing of me doing this right now is so just, there's nothing else that I should be doing right now than what I'm doing right now. And I feel like I was talking about that feel, that itch, that every time it's time for me to make these videos and I sit down to write my notes, not my script, because I just write notes about what I had. And a lot of times, if I were to show y'all the notes that I have for these videos, you're like, girl, how did you go from here to here and you was over there? It works. Anyways, when I sit down and I'm about to do these videos, there's always this weird little voice that I hear where it's like, girl, you gonna sit down and you gonna record this video and what? 5 people gonna watch it? Yes. You imagine me sitting where I am right now and it's just 5 people sitting here listening to what I'm saying so intently, so in tuned. Like, that makes me emotional. And I'm trying not to cry. But I am so grateful for every single person that just sits and they're like, wait a minute, you posted a new video? Let me watch that, girl. What's going on? Like, that fills my heart with joy. And that is what I chase, right? It could be 1, 2 people. That's more than me. And that means that what I am saying, doing, expressing, it matters, right? Because this is just my journey. This is me getting from wherever I started. And if I don't know, if you get bored, you can go see the first videos I did. I've been doing YouTube videos since I was using my mom's laptop camera to make videos. And then I was in college using my old Dell webcam camera to make videos. So from there to now is insane, amazing growth. And it took me going through this process to recognize that about myself. And it made me realize that it is the process. The end goal is to have gone through the process. So the process is the real prize. Like, little Kalia that was sitting in my parents' bedroom using my mom's laptop to record on her web camera to make a video singing. And oh my God, I just had a moment. This is wild. I just realized something. That video that I did back then, like, it was one of the second or third videos that I did. I did a cover of Big Sean's Love Story. And I just joined Equinox and I ran into Big Sean at Equinox. Something's telling me, hey, Sean, Mr. Big Sean, Mr. Sean, however you like to be called. Something's telling me that I will be running into you again here sometime soon. And I just want to say, hey, right now from the past, because I don't know if it's that we may be necessarily, like, aligned creatively, but I have seen you in each step of me going on my steps. Anyway, saying all this to say, let's pay attention to Mr. Sean. I feel like we're going to work on something soon. Or even if it's just, I don't know. But there's something there, and I did not recognize it. Because that was my first video that went, like, it blew up. I think I got like 1,000 views on it. And I was like, whoa, 1,000 people. And this was a song cover of me just like nothing. Just me sitting there singing. So, tangent. Picking it back up and come back to where we was. Okay. So, talked about that being your pride, your ego. That pride and that ego is what's stopping you from starting. And you not being able to start is getting you stuck in a cycle of beating yourself up about the fact that you can't start. So then it becomes I can't do this. Like, I don't know. Every time I try, think about if I thought every time I tried to sit down and film a video and anything ever went wrong and whoa, the lighting just changed because the sun just went behind a cloud. I am in West Palm Beach again. Traveling for work. See, this is what I'm talking about. I took that leap, quit my job, and I legitimately told my job the only thing that you could do is pay me to travel. And I got what I asked for. I was just talking to a friend, and People are always like, oh, you got to be delusional. You got to have the audacity. But if I'm really thinking about it, the only true delusion is thinking that you don't deserve something because you do. Like, we're delusional to think that the everything is just working against us. No, it's not. Where I am, how I living my life, everything is working for me. Even when I don't know or it feels bad or it didn't go my way, everything is working for me. Because if all of the things that I wanted to work for me, artistically, personally, like anywhere, job, all of this, if any of that stuff worked out the way that I wanted it to, I would not be here. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, the things that I went through, I would go through them again to get here. Because here, I didn't think I would get here. So to know that I can keep going, I am unstoppable. I am unstoppable. Okay, I got distracted. But back to what I was saying about okay, so if you tell yourself that you can't do something, you can't do it because you said so. If we're thinking like that, the opposite is true. If I say that I can do something, I can do it because I said so. So I'm going to do it. Like, it feels like you're tricking yourself because you are. The inner part of you that sit there and goes, la, 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 you got to tell that inner part, little baby. We were talking about Shadow Kalia. I don't see her today because light too bright, too good of a lighting. But you have to tell that part of yourself, hey, I'm in control. You have to be so intentional about your self-speak because it's subconscious. So you unconsciously do it. So you're not thinking about the fact that you're doing it. So now you have to think about what you're doing, and it's forcing you to pay more attention to yourself. Again, we talked about it. Pay attention. When people saying, I'm noticing, this is a good one though. When you start noticing, okay, you notice that everything is for you, will be for you, and you will have it. Okay? And I know we as artists and as people, but we as artists, one thing that just feels like a knife in the heart is when you feel like you had a missed opportunity. There are 3 distinct points in my life that I used to say, ugh, if I would have done this, then all of this would have happened. And if I would have done this, then this wouldn't have been ruined. Like, I have had opportunities where it's like, I know I should be further than I am. Again, going through this process, I do not have regrets. I have learned that when I regret something, that is me continuously punishing my past self for a decision that cannot be changed. Right? I just accept that this decision is like, I'm starting to reiterate this in a lot of places, like to my friend, whatever, like anybody that I'm talking to, it's like, oh, we shouldn't say that. But it's like, you have to call the thing what it is. Like, you have to say what it is, call it by its name. Why am I giving so much authority to a word, to a situation? If this thing made me happy, made me feel whatever, like, it was necessary. And if it made me sad, it was necessary. Like, and this is also, being raised in the church, being raised Christian, which I feel was a great benefit. It showed me that there are a lot of things that we take for granted or we don't necessarily accept as something that was supposed to happen to us. And I know that this is something that's super controversial when we come to talking about faith, where it's like, okay, a bad thing happened to me, but I'm still grateful. And that is something that I struggled with a lot. And I do not consider myself a theologian at any form of whatever. But through me and my talk with the Lord and Jesus, it feels easier to say that this bad thing happened to me, but I'm still thankful because it was not as worse. It was not as bad as it could have been. And that's like, oh, okay, well, you said, my foot got chopped off, but I could have lost my leg. Exactly. Like, exactly. My foot got chopped off, but I could have lost my leg. Like, I don't even know how to verbalize it, but there is so much that's happening that I have no control over. Like, no control. But I've never felt so at peace. And now I'm crying, which is fine, right? Like, These are very emotional things to talk about. When you talk about your art, when you talk about what makes you wake up in the morning, like there's a lot behind that. So if you get a little emotional sometimes, it's fine. That is a part of the human experience. This is something that I'm so grateful to be able to do. I'm so happy that I can feel this because there were times where I just didn't. I didn't talk about the feelings. I didn't feel the feelings. They weren't real. And I know that that stopped so much of my art. Like I let myself get stuck inside of myself trying to prove a point like this doesn't affect me. This doesn't hurt, but the body keeps the score. You can try as much as you want to hold all of that stuff in, but not only does your body keep the score, your art keeps the score. You will not create what you need to make if you don't let it out. Whew. And this is me letting that out. Because there is something to be said about being okay and the vulnerability that so many people shy away from. Because why would I be ashamed to cry about something that brings me joy, that gives me immense emotion, that fills me up? Why would I be ashamed of that? Like, why should I think that there's something wrong with what makes me wake up every morning? There's nothing wrong with that. This is hurting no one, right? The only person it hurts is me when I don't do it. My bad. That was another little tangent, but I'm gonna wrap up this video with saying that little you is still there. All of those dreams, the stuff you wanted to make, it's still there. You just have to give your permission. You just have to give yourself permission to do it. Just like today. One thing. If you watch this video, just do one thing. Say you wanted to get back into, I don't know, crocheting or watercoloring, or you are doing some collaging. And also I want to recognize the art that people don't think is art, but it is art. If you get what I'm saying, like you can take any medium and make it into something that is so conceptually insane where it's like, how did you even think about that? But you thought about something that I couldn't even put words to. That's art. When you give people words, oh my goodness. When you give people words to say what they can't express themselves, that's art. So if you have ever given somebody the ability to actually fully express themselves, you are an artist, okay? There's some people who work in HR. You're an artist because you are able to articulate what it is that the company wants you to do and also care about the well-being of the people that are there that you have to enact these policies on. You know, you're an artist, okay? Doctors, people, psychiatrists, they're therapists. Like, these are all artists because you do what other people cannot for themselves. You're an artist. What did Jill Scott say? Like, I get it. I get it. Let me fix myself. I'll be right back. All right, my beautiful noodles. I hope you enjoyed our little tear time. But this Music Monday video, if you like this video, please be sure to like it. And if you loved it, please be sure to subscribe. I would love to have you on this journey as one of my little beautiful noodles. And I do stuff. I do a lot of stuff. And I'm getting better at telling y'all about the stuff. And this is the first step. So, anywho, I can't wait to see you in my next video. Okay? All right. Bye.